Hi everyone, this is my CSE 632 final project. So just a little bit of context and background. I am a graduate assistant in athletic administration and compliance at Western Oregon. On a day-to-day basis, I work with student athletes, coaches, athletic staff, and university staff. I work for the associate athletic director, and she's also the compliance director, so I work really closely with the rules and regulation of the NCAA, Western Oregon, and the GNAC conference, which we participate in. Another aspect of my job is I help provide support to student athletes. And on top of that, I kind of help lead community outreach. So in my presentation, I'm going to kind of talk about those three areas of my job and how I can incorporate technology opportunities. So before I dive into those different parts of my job, I'm just going to give you a brief little overview of what I kind of see technology in education. I think it's really important to engage the audience. If you're using technology, I want to make sure that my audience is engaged. I want to make them active listeners. I want to make sure that they're asking questions if they need to, or just really, really paying attention so they can absorb the content that I'm teaching them. I also think it's important to use technology to enhance the content. You don't want to use super fancy technologies or multiple technologies that kind of overshadows or doesn't really let your content come through and the knowledge isn't absorbed. But I also think it's really important to understand both the content and the technology you're using, because those need to work together. Like I said, you don't want technology that overshadows or takes away from your content, and you don't want to miss an opportunity to enhance your content with technology. Okay, one really important part of my job is compliance. So in the NCAA, there are a lot of different compliance rules like academics, eligibility, recruiting, and and different rules and requirements for transfer students. It's really important that both student athletes and coaches understand what makes up compliance and the different rules. For a student athlete, it's really important that they understand their academic requirements, especially at the D2 level. You are a student athlete, and they really push the student part first, and that's also a really big important goal for Western Oregon. But they also need to understand eligibility. They need to understand what eligibility is, how to keep themselves eligible, and what can make them not eligible so that they are, compliant to the rules. And coaches need to know both those things extensively, as well as recruiting and how to work with transfer students and how to recruit transfer students. Now, there are several technology opportunities in the compliance field, but I think it's really important to use technology to help enhance the compliance lessons, and it's important to keep our players and coaches engaged. There are rule changes that happen every year that coaches need to stay updated with, since they're doing recruiting and working with student athletes all the time. And there's also a meeting that is required by the NCAA that all student athletes have to have every year before their first official practice. So by the time someone's a senior, they've heard this message or this presentation 4 to 5 times. So we want to keep them super engaged so that they can absorb everything that they need to absorb to keep themselves eligible and become a successful student athlete. I also want to provide them the skills and knowledge to navigate compliance on their own. So a couple of technology opportunities are making really, really interactive and engaging and enhancing presentations, as well as making some interactive photos so that student athletes and coaches can see exactly, if you maybe make an interactive photo of the WU campus, you can see exactly where student support areas are. Or one of my favorites right now is eLink. So it is a tool, and you can kind of send it out. It almost looks like a newsletter, and it's a whole bunch of what you could consider like a curated list of links. So I can make a curated list of links of exact parts of maybe transfer students. I can make several links that takes them exactly to like a specific things of what makes a transfer student and what makes them eligible or whatnot. Or maybe I can make a whole bunch of curated links to academic eligibility or on recruiting, just different stuff, so that coaches can look to those when they have specific questions or they need a certain detail or just a refresher, and they don't have to always go asking the compliance director how to find this or what to do, so that they can navigate it on their own. We want to give them the tools to understand compliance on their own. Another area of my job is support. I provide general and emotional support to our student athletes. I'm just recently a retired basketball player from Western Oregon. I'm now an alumni. I graduated in the spring, so I've just gone through the journey of being a student athlete. So I'm a person that's there for them. That's not their coach. That's not their parents. That's not a teacher. I'm just there for them, and I'm someone who understands what they're going through. But I also provide academic support. I run a few study halls for student athletes. I also help point them in the correct direction to like tutoring centers and the student success building. I also provide support and advising. I've helped a few freshmen, make their schedule. I've helped them connect to their, major advisors. And I've also helped with financial aid. Some of our student athletes are from underrepresented areas or underprivileged areas, and FAFSA is like a whole other language to them. There's a lot of financial aid jargon they don't understand, or they're on their own, and so they're making important financial decisions on their own, and I kind of just helping them understand the whole process and what's going on. So the technology for this area is I just really need to be accessible to our student athletes. I want them to know that I'm there for them when they need them. So email and the internet is super important to me. There's a lot of great affordances of the internet, and just having access to it at all time when student athletes just kind of need help or reach out, I'm there for them. And also with the internet, there's social media. I help run the Student Athlete Advisory Twitter page. So I use that to kind of tweet out reminders to them, like FAFSA deadline's coming up, don't forget to get your holds lifted, just little stuff like that, because all of our student athletes, they love social media, so I know they check that. I make sure they all follow me. I also kind of can use interactive photos like ThingLink, and like I said earlier, like make an interactive map of the WU campus, show them areas of support for them, and I just want to give them the tools to help them navigate college successfully. And then my other aspect of my job is the community outreach. So like I said, I help advise the Student Athlete Advisory Committee, and it's a representative or two from each team. And it's a group of like really awesome leaders who help give back to the local community, and they give our student athletes a voice in our own athletic department and in our own campus and in the NCAA as well, and in our community. Our SAC, it's really project-based and service-based. I just help advise, but our group of kids they come together and think of awesome community service events and really awesome ideas of how to give back or how to make an issue known on campus, and everything that they do is all kind of created and curated by them. So the technology that's really important to this and that we can really take advantage of is social media. And the internet as well. But with social media, we use Twitter and Instagram, the athletics website, and Facebook to promote what we're doing, get our message out, call attention to certain issues, and let people know what we're doing and connect with other groups so we can work together. Like I said, there's the WU SAC Twitter, the Student Athlete Advisory Committee Twitter, and it's really starting, it's fresh and new, and we're really starting to turn things around and connect with organizations and people on campus. So just a quick overview. There are several opportunities to incorporate technology in my own work context, and there are many benefits, I believe, to using technology in my own personal job right now. Being a GA, there's been a few times I've noticed that sometimes WU Athletics is a little bit behind in technology, but after taking this class as well as the Web Tools class, I've been really getting a great experience of working with web tools and kind of seeing what works and doesn't work with athletics and with my job. So I've had the opportunity to play around and kind of steal a couple tools that are really beneficial to my job in athletics right now. My boss has been really excited about that, so I thank you, Professor Busey. But a few philosophies that I kind of draw inspiration from. A big one is the Triple E model. I think it's super important to use technology to enhance education and to engage students. You want them to be active listeners. You want them to ask questions and just be engaged. And I also want to extend what I'm teaching to them into the real world. In athletics, it's a lot of life skills and leadership skills and communication skills, and I want them to be able to use this in the real world, not just in athletics. And you also want them to make sure that they understand compliance, not just when I'm teaching them about compliance. I want them to understand compliance and NCAA rules at all times. But a few other models I draw from are the TPEC model, the SMAR model, and the RAP model. That's pretty much it for my presentation. I've really enjoyed taking this class and learning from Professor Busey, and I'm excited to see what this program has to offer after this course. Thank you.